Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Yasmin. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, are you ready for the session?
Yes.
Okay, so a quick recap. What did we do in the last session, Yasmin?
Um, yeah, we went through one of the stories about the monkey.
Yes, about the monkey. Great. And can you please tell me a bit about that story?
Okay. So in olden days, for catching the monkey, they won't use arrows or run behind it. They just use the glass jar with the wide neck, and they drop some uh, food on the bottom. Monkey monkeys, whenever saw the jar, they just drop their hand inside the jar, and they got and couldn't take the hand out of the jar. They got struck, and the hunters will catch the monkey.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was a good explanation. And what sort of jar did they use? One special feature of that jar. Can you please tell me that?
It's a white neck jar. So if we leave inside the jar, it will hold the hand, grab the hand.
Okay, and did you say white?
So wide,
Did you say this word?
wide, WIDE. Yeah,
Yes. So think about it. If the neck of the jar is white, how will the monkeys will be stuck in that if the neck is white?
yeah, that's right.
Yes, it was a narrow neck glass jar, right?
Okay.
Yes, the word is narrow. Okay, so
Narrow.
Yasmin, great. So let's do the activity for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Please read this one, the word.
Sa,
Say it once again.
sa,
Saw,
sa,
saw, aw. Try to say this word, this sound, aw, saw,
saw.
better. Or when we are surprised, we say aw, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, when we feel bad for someone these days, very common reaction is aw, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So try to say saw. It's not saw, it's saw. Okay,
Saw.
now say it once again, please.
Uh, saw.
Better. Okay, now I'm going to share few lines.
Okay.
This is a very short story. Let's try to complete it as quickly as possible. Okay, here are the first
Okay.
two lines of the narration.
One morning, an elderly man was walking along the beach when he noticed a young boy picking something off the sand and throwing it into the sea. As he got closer, the man realized the child was throwing stranded starfishes that had washed up on the shore back into the breaking waves.
Yes, so please explain what do you understand by reading it out?
Yeah, one morning, an old man was walking in the beach. He noticed while he was walking, he noticed the boy throwing something into the sea. At first, he thought it was um, uh, yeah, something from the sand. But now, when getting closer, he realized the boy is throwing the starfishes, which is um, washed back on the shore with, with the waves.
Yes. So he was throwing the stranded starfishes. What do you understand by the word stranded?
Stranded. No idea.
Okay, so here when we are talking about beach or off a shore,
Mm-hmm.
here it means something which is left out there. It's
Uh-huh.
stranded. That means it cannot move from that
Mm-hmm.
place. It's
Mm-hmm.
helpless, it's trapped there, so it's cut off from
Mm-hmm.
its original point. So stranded means when something cannot move.
From that place. Okay.
Exactly. So stranded starfishes that had washed up on the shore back into the breaking waves. So he was actually
Mm-hmm.
throwing the starfishes that were on the shore back into the waves. Now, please read the next part.
Approaching the boy, the man asked what he was doing. The starfish will die if they are still on the shore when the sun rises, he replied. Perplexed, the old man said, but that's pointless. There are countless miles of beach and thousands of starfish. It doesn't matter how many you return to the water, you can't make a difference.
Okay, so what do you think of this one? Why he
So
was. Mhm.
the boy tried to help the starfish because he wanted to save at least some of the starfish. So he was throwing back the starfish into the waves.
Mhm. Yes, to save their lives, he was actually throwing those starfishes back in the sea, right?
Yeah.
Then why was the old man perplexed? What is the meaning of the word perplexed?
Um, no, uh, no, I didn't hear this word
Okay,
before.
so it means confused, puzzled. When you're not clear about something, when you're confused, this is a
Mm-hmm.
formal English word, perplexed. Okay,
Perplexed. Mm-hmm.
yes.
Okay.
So why was the old man so confused?
Because there are lot of starfish on
Lot,
the sand.
say it
Lots
once
of
again.
starfish.
Lot, not lot.
Lot. Lot.
Very good. Now say your answer once again.
Um, there are uh, there are lots of starfish on the waves. He couldn't save all those starfishes, so the older man was confused.
Yes, so you're right. Good explanation. Now, what do you think? What should go next?
Um,
What do you think? What will happen? What should be the boy's reply? Why he was doing that?
the boy, the boy want to save at least a few starfishes, so he was throwing back the starfishes to the waves.
Exactly. What a good judgment here. Please read the next line.
Unfazed, the boy bent down, picked up another starfish, and tossed it into the sea. It matters to this one, he said.
Yes. So he knew that he could not save all of the
Save all
starfishes.
this. Mm-hmm.
Yes. But he thought
He
that
can,
even if he is saving one life, that would be worth it.
yeah,
And yes, so what is the meaning of the word tossed it here?
tossed, throwing,
Exactly. Wonderful. And what is the meaning of the first word? Unfazed.
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 Con-
Sorry.
didn't stop, continuing throwing.
Okay. It says, unfazed, the boy bent down, picked up another starfish, and tossed it into the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So the old man asked, why were you doing that? But he kept on doing. He did the same thing again. What do you think? What is the meaning of the word unfazed? Unfazed.
Again,
Yes. Here it means
again.
in a normal manner. In a cool, we say cool, right? That he's cool. So
Mm-hmm.
in the same way, in a calm way, he continued his work. Unfazed means without unbothered by someone. If you're not, you are
Mm-hmm.
scolding someone, for example, is a very good example here. You're scolding a child, do not eat that, do not eat that. But that child is not listening and eating in a very calm way. He's not paying any
Mm-hmm.
attention to you. We can say unfazed, unbothered by whatever the other person is saying.
Mm-hmm.
So we,
Yeah.
yeah, so we were meant to do these two stories last session. So what difference did you feel in the first story we did and in the story we discussed today?
Um, the first story is about hunting. The second story is about helping.
Exactly. And how about we're talking about English here? Did you feel any difference in the level of difficulty of words or anything?
Yeah. In last story, there were easy. Some of the words are easy. Here, lots of
Lot.
unknown word. A lot.
Yes. So I have noticed one thing about your speech. When you speak, there is a certain sound that you do not say. That is awe. I have noticed this,
Uh,
I guess, if, yeah, awe.
a lot.
Yes, a lot. You don't say a lot, you say a lot. It's not ah,
Uh-huh.
it's awe, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
How do you read this? You might have seen this so many times on social media.
Uh,
Awe,
uh,
awe, ow, no, no, ow, awe,
uh,
awe, awe, awe.
uh,
We try to say awe multiple times.
uh,
Take a minute, try to say this word again and again. Awe, a lot,
a
and
lot.
a law, awe. It's not ah, yes, in a law, awe, awe sound,
Uh, uh,
awe.
uh,
Better, better. And we did one word. How do we read this one?
can't.
Can't. I can't do that.
Can't.
Better. I can't do that.
Okay.
Yes. So, okay, now you were actually didn't tell me about that song. Did you listen to any new song?
No, I didn't hear any new song.
Okay, okay, let's do one thing. Let not it be a homework thing. Try to indulge yourself in listening and watching to English content. If you are reading a newspaper or a magazine or a blog, I will suggest read
Mm-hmm.
loudly.
Okay.
Yes. Again, English, any language in this world. If a child is born, he is learning a language, he is
Mm-hmm.
listening to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen and practice. Listen and practice. So we are going to talk about three words quickly, 5 minutes for each
Mm-hmm.
one. It's do, does,
Mm-hmm.
and did. You might have used these three words multiple times, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when do you use these three words? Try to frame a sentence using the word do for me.
Okay. Do you want to come with me?
Very good. Now try to frame a sentence using does.
Um, does anyone know what is this? What is about this?
Okay, very good. So first sorry, the first one was to you.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first sentence, Yasmin?
Do you want to come with me?
Okay, do you want to come with me? And the second one was, does anyone?
Okay.
Now try to frame a sentence with the word did.
Did you like it?
Wonderful. Did you like it? Now, when we talk about do, does, and did, They all
Mm-hmm.
denote a action that is to be performed, right? If we
Mm-hmm.
talk about the
Yeah.
word do is used or do means to perform an action, to do something, right?
Yeah.
Do that. So do means
Mm-hmm.
performance of an action. Now in English, there is first person, second person, and third person when we're talking about grammar. What do you think of first person in conversation or in English grammar?
I.
Exactly. So first person means I or we perspective. If I am talking and I'm talking about us, I'm talking about myself, that is first person perspective. Now
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about second person. What is the second person?
He, she.
That is the third person. Let's say you and I are talking, okay? Jasmine,
Mm-hmm.
if I am talking about myself, I'm the first person. For me, you are the
Okay.
second person. If I'm talking about the
Mm-hmm.
third person, if she is not doing
She.
well, exactly. So she is the
Mm-hmm.
third person.
Okay.
First person is I,
I,
we, us.
we. Mm-hmm.
Second person is you perspective. I'm just saying perspective. Now the third person is he,
He, she.
she,
She.
it, they.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So when we have a conversation, you're talking to someone, you are using I. If you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
yourself, it's I. If you're talking about the person standing right next to you, it's second person. And if you're talking about the third person, that is he, she, and it. Now, when we're talking about do and does mean the same. The only
Mm-hmm.
difference is you see your first sentence. You said do you. You is what?
Second person. Talking to second person.
Yes. You is second person here. Do you, or in simple words, to not complicate this thing, when you're talking about you, we use do. Do you do
Mm-hmm.
that? Now it's
Mm-hmm.
does anyone. How will you define the use of does here?
Um, does he, that person,
Exactly. Does is used for the
third
third
person.
person. Yes. So do and does are actually used in present. We use did
Mm-hmm.
for past.
Past. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And now I'm going to write a sentence. Please read the sentence for me.
I read the book.
I read the book or I read the book. Now tell me, in this sentence, there is a subject, there is an
I
object. Mhm.
I read the book.
I read the book. So in this statement, what is the subject and
I
very good. I is the subject and this is the object.
book.
The one who is performing the action is the subject.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yes. When the subject in a sentence is singular, what do we use? Do or does?
Do I read? Do.
When the subject is singular, I'll give you the example. We use does. You said, does anyone? Anyone means a person out of so many, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With when the subject is singular, we use does.
Mm, do. The subject is singular. We have to use do.
We use does. When the subject is,
Does.
yes, I'll give you the examples as well. Let's complete this one. Okay, let me complete, then you can ask your follow-up questions, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When the subject is plural or you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about first person, we use do.
Okay.
Yes. Now with I. We use do. Why do? I is singular. I am a single person. Why we are using do? I do that. I don't like that.
Okay.
Why
Mm-hmm.
do you think, Yasmin? That's the question. With I, as you said,
I
yes. With I, why do we use do?
yeah, I thought it's appropriate, but while after your explanation, this is the appropriate for
Mhm.
that sentence.
Okay. It is because, read this rule of English
Mm-hmm.
grammar, when the subject is plural or
Mm-hmm.
is the first person. I is
Mm-hmm.
what?
First person.
Wonderful. So that is why we use do with I, because I
Mm-hmm.
is the first person. If you're talking about first person or something which is plural, we use the
Plural.
word do.
Do. Okay.
When the subject is singular, we
Mm-hmm.
use
Thus.
wonderful. Now, then when do we use did?
In the talking about the past.
Wonderful. So, do and does are for present. If we are talking to someone, now let's move to real life situation. You are talking to someone, you're talking about present, you will use do and does. If you're talking about past,
Mm-hmm.
did you complete your lunch? Did you complete your task? You're talking about if someone has completed that thing in the past or not.
Yeah.
Yes, so we will use did. Now, in do and does, there are two categories. We use does, Yasmin, when the subject
Mm-hmm.
is singular. We
Do.
use,
Yeah. Do.
okay, do I have your attention here right now, Jasmine?
Yes.
Wonderful to know that. When the subject is singular, we use does. She
Mm-hmm.
does. He does.
Does. Okay.
Right? When we are talking
Mm-hmm.
about something which is plural or we
Mm-hmm.
are talking about the first person category, we use do.
Okay.
Yes. So we never say that we does not do that. We say we don't do that. Right?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. So can you please summarize these two rules for me about do, does, and did, whatever we have discussed?
Yeah. Do. So for first person, we use does when when the subject is I we, then we use does. Um, for the subject, when it is plural, we use do.
Exactly. So now I'm going to give you a sentence. You tell me what's going to be in the blank, okay?
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, if I talk about you, okay,
Mm-hmm.
what word will you use? What helping verb will you use with this one? Do or does?
Do you
Wonderful. With you as well, we use
do?
exactly. Well, I'm going to write a sentence here.
Mm-hmm.
Super easy.
I believe I can do it.
Sorry, say it once again. I couldn't hear you properly.
I believe I can do it.
Wonderful. It's nice. Now, Please read this one for me. Just a moment.
Mhm.
Please read this one.
Bob do whatever he wants on weekend. Um, Bob does. Bob does whatever he wants on weekend.
Okay, why not do? Why does?
Uh, because Bob he so when talking about third person, we have to use does.
Because here Bob is singular, right? We
Yes,
can
Bob
say
is
yes.
singular.
Yes, so Bob is singular. So we will say does. Bob does whatever he wants on weekend. Now here is another one. Now please read this one first.
She speaks English, French fluently, but she don't speak Italian.
Okay, and what made you think of don't hear?
Uh, she
Mm-hmm.
so in the first sentence, it's talking about um, she about her speaking. So the second sentence, I thought it will be what language she won't speak. So I decided to use don't.
Okay, so okay, tell me the rules of using do and does.
Okay, she is third person. So I use so it should be doesn't.
Exactly. It should be doesn't because it's she. The subject is
Yeah,
she. It's
the subject is
singular.
okay.
Try to
Yes.
focus on the first one. Sorry, the
Mhm.
subject. The subject here is
Singular.
singular. Wonderful. So she speaks English, French fluently, but she doesn't speak Italian. Now,
Mhm.
why it can be this word? Say it word once for me.
She speaks English, French fluently, but
This
she doesn't speak it. But she can't speak Italian.
say this word once again.
But she can't speak Italian.
Better. She can't speak Italian. So why not can't? Why doesn't? We have learned about it. What do you think? Why not can't? Or do you think can't can be one of the answers here?
Yeah, we can use both. Doesn't, can't.
Okay, and why do you think can't will be a good fit?
Uh, no idea.
Okay, no worries. So tell me, why do we when do we use can or can't?
When we can't do something.
Yes, when we're talking about the ability of doing something, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to change this sentence a little bit, okay?
Mhm.
Now rest of the sentence is same. Yasmin, do you
Okay.
see any difference between this one, the first sentence, and the second one?
Yeah, she can speak. She speaks English.
Yeah.
She
So in the
can.
second one,
It's about ability.
exactly.
Can and
And the first
it's
one is
about uh, it's like telling her what are the language she speaks.
exactly what a good observation here. So when we introduce the word can, you're talking about the eligibility. Here in the given sentence, in the original sentence, We were not talking about the capability. We were not talking about if she is having those skills or not. Sometimes you know a thing, but you don't do that. I know how to cook,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't cook. It's not like I don't know cooking. I know about it, but I don't cook. That is
Yeah.
my choice. So here in
Mm-hmm.
this sentence, can't cannot be the right fit. It will be doesn't. Now try to summarize what we covered in today's lesson, especially the rules.
Do, does, did.
Hmm.
Do
So
is
what is the
for
difference between
do is for plural. When the subject is plural, we use do. When the subject is singular, we use does. And while speaking about the past, we have to use did.
exactly? So now go ahead, get back to the chat box, take a look on the story and tell me where we have used the word does,
Uh,
doesn't, and you let me know if use of does there is right or not.
okay. It doesn't matter how many you return to the water. It
Water.
water.
Hmm. So do you think use of
Yeah,
doesn't,
yeah. It doesn't is right.
and why use of doesn't is right, why don't?
It's it talking about the third person. So we are using does.
Exactly. We are talking about something which is singular. It says it, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, how will you read this word that is given on screen?
The whiteboard.
Yes,
Um, talking.
exactly. Exactly. So, Yasmin, I'm going to share my observation once again. So, the point of doing these activities where you are reading, it's not making you understand the stories. We are not going to use these stories anywhere. It's just to
Uh-huh.
see how you are pronouncing the words when you are speaking in a flow. So, my basic observation is when you are speaking in a flow, when things are clear in your head, you tend to have mother tongue influence, which is very high. You don't say or, you say ah. When you were speaking, you said talking. When I asked you to
Uh-huh.
read this word individually, you said it perfectly fine. You said talking. Now you tell me, is it talking or is it talking?
Talking.
Wonderful. So, just a suggestion that will actually improve your knowledge, your
Mm-hmm.
communication skill. Read as much as you can. And when you are reading, turn on the
Read.
recording of your phone. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Read for two
Okay.
minutes. Let's say you're reading a blog on internet, recording.
Uh-huh.
Read for 2 minutes. Listen to your recording, and you will understand the words you are saying incorrect. You need to practice speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we will be covering in coming few sessions as you requested. We will be doing more of grammar classes plus a small reading
Okay.
part.
Okay.
I again repeat, grammar is not your major problem. Problem is pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
So we will try to focus on pronunciation as well along with the grammar as you said.
Uh-huh.
What we will do is we will focus on what words you are saying incorrectly or what
Uh-huh.
sound that is the major problem. For now, the only thing you're not saying is or, or whatever you say is when you're speaking in a flow.
Ah. Okay.
Exactly. For example, it's not you say talking, not talking. It's a lot when you say in flow. It's a lot when you say individually. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. So, Yasmin, that's all for the day. Is there anything you would
Mhm.
like to ask or say?
No.
Take very good care of yourself. Have a wonderful day today. Bye bye.